If you're just starting out in filmmaking, chances are you're making at least one of these mistakes, and they could be ruining your videos. Today I'm breaking down 5 of the biggest mistakes I believe beginner videographers make, and more importantly, we're gonna talk about how to fix them so you can start shooting like a pro. So stick around. I also have a bonus tip for you at the end. As videographers and filmmakers, we've all been there. Super excited to start a project, only to realize that halfway through that we've made some major mistakes, and trust me, man, it is frustrating. The good news is we can learn from them. Today, I'm going to share with you the most common mistakes new videographers make, and more importantly, how can we avoid them moving forward. When we're just starting out, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of filming. But without proper planning, things can fall apart real fast. And, we might forget things like gear, we might miss key shots, or we might even run out of money before our project is even finished. I've been there, and it's not fun. Filmmaking is more than just picking up a camera and pressing record. It takes planning, it takes skill, and it takes a whole lot of patience. The biggest problem? A lot of beginners don't even know what mistakes they're making, and they think they're doing everything right, but then they hit roadblocks that could have been avoided with proper planning. So let's go over 5 of the biggest mistakes that I believe rookie videographers make and how we can avoid them. Number 1 on the list is skipping pre-production. The biggest mistake new videographers make is not planning properly. Pre-production is where you figure out everything like locations, a shot list, equipment, talent, and budget. If you don't plan, you'll run into problems. Maybe you arrive at the location only to find out that it's closed. Or you start shooting and you realize you don't have the right lens. Or worse, you get to editing and you've missed some key shots. So, how do we avoid this mistake? You want to make a shot list. A shot list is a breakdown of every shot you'll need in your video. Without one, you'll end up forgetting key shots, scrambling last minute, all right? Before the shoot, sit down, visualize your video from start to finish, and write down what shots you need, what angles you want, and more importantly, any little details. This will save you tons of time on set. Another thing that you want to do is scout your location in advance. Never assume a location will work without visiting it first. Go to your locations before the shoot, if possible. If you can't go, then ask the client for some pictures. And because you want to check things like lighting, noise level, and access to bring your gear inside. If you're filming outdoors, check the time of day to see how the light looks, and also check if you need permission to film. If you do, then you need to get this in advance so you don't get kicked out mid-shoot, because that would be absolutely horrible. Another thing that you want to do is check your equipment. Nothing is worse than showing up to film and realizing that your camera batteries are dead, your SD card is full, and you only have one, and you are contemplating whether you backed up the footage or not. The night before your shoot, you want to make sure that you want to charge your batteries, clear your memory cards, and test all your equipment. If you're using lights, mics, make sure they work properly before you head out to your shoot. Another thing that you want to do to avoid this mistake is create a schedule. Plan out your shoot day so you're not running around trying to figure things out. Know what time you're shooting each scene, when people need to be on set, how long each part going to take. A solid schedule would keep everything running smoothly and ensure that you don't waste time. Things will happen, but if you create a schedule, things will go a little bit more smooth. Number 2 on my list for beginner mistakes: underestimating the budget. Filming isn't cheap. Even if you're shooting on a phone, you still need storage, you still need lighting, you still need sound equipment and editing software. See, many new videographers think they can make an amazing film with no money, but things do add up real fast. If you don't budget properly, you will either run out of money or end up with a video that looks unfinished. So how do we avoid this mistake? Plan your expenses. Before you start filming, write down everything you'll need and estimate the cost. Think about camera gear, lights, locations, audio, talent if you need any. Also, think about like transportation, and please think about food. You have to feed the people that are helping you. Even small costs like batteries or SD cards can add up real fast, so factor those in as well. You don't need the most expensive camera to make a great video. If you can't afford a high-end camera, use your phone. But invest in a good microphone, some good lights. High quality sound and lighting will do more for your video than an expensive camera ever will. Another way to do this is to avoid this mistake is look for cheap or free resources. There are plenty of free or low-cost tools out there that you can use. One of them is instead of paying for music licensing, try royalty-free music. For editing, you can use a free software like DaVinci Resolve. It's really good. Also, you can borrow gear from friends or rent equipment instead of buying. I rented equipment for the longest time before I really started purchasing a lot of the equipment that I own today. Another way of avoiding this mistake when it comes to your budget is leaving room for unexpected costs. No matter how well you plan, unexpected things will come up. Maybe a piece of equipment breaks or you need to buy extra storage. Always set aside money for those situations so you don't get stuck halfway through your production. Number 3 on my list that beginner videographers make is ignoring sound quality. Many beginner, they focus so much on the visuals that they forget about sound. But bad audio will ruin a great looking video. And if your audio is muffled, or there's background noise, or it's too quiet, or people won't watch your video. They will just click off, no matter how good it looks, right? So how do you avoid these mistakes? Use an external microphone. Your camera's built-in mic is no good. It's not good. So even if you invest in a $30 lav mic or a shotgun mic, this will make a huge difference in the sound quality. So I encourage you to invest in decent microphones early on. Another way to avoid this mistake is record in a quiet environment. Pay attention to background noise when filming. Something like a loud AC unit or traffic or wind can ruin your audio. Pick a quiet location, and if you're outside, choose times of the day when noise is minimal. Another way to avoid this mistake is monitor your sound while recording. I encourage you to invest in a good pair of headphones. Always wear headphones while you're filming to listen for background noise or mic issue. Fixing bad audio in post is way harder than getting it right while you're shooting. All right, trust me, you don't want to do that. Number 4 on my list of things that new beginners do is they rush through their edit. Editing is where your video comes to life. But if you rush through it, your project will feel sloppy. So, how do we avoid this mistake? You want to organize your footage. Before you start editing, go through your clips and label them properly. Delete any bad takes and arrange your files so they're easy to find. Another way to avoid this is learn the basic of editing. Study things like pacing, cutting on action, and avoiding jump cuts. Also, watch other professional videos and really pay attention to how they edit, all right? Because this will really take you a long way. Another way to avoid this is use color correction and grading. Even a basic color adjustment will make your footage look so professional. You want to take some time with that and make sure your footage looks really good. Another way to do this is add sound design. Use music, sound effects, and ambient noise to make your video more immersive. You want the viewer to feel as if they were on set with you while you were shooting. Another way to avoid this is take breaks and review your work, right? Watch your edits with a fresh eyes. I still do this till this day. I will do an edit and I'll walk away from it and just come back and just make sure my eyes are rested so I can see it in a different light. Number 5 on my list is probably the biggest mistake that videographers make. Number 5 is not willing to accept feedback. One of the biggest challenges for new filmmakers is accepting criticism. You see, when we put our heart and our soul into a project, it's easy to get attached and believe everything we create is perfect. But the reality is there's always room for improvement. If you're not open to feedback, you will miss out on opportunities to grow. You might not see certain mistakes because you're too close to the project. See, fresh eyes can catch things that you didn't notice, like awkward cuts, weak storytelling, bad audio levels, or scenes that just doesn't go well. It just doesn't flow. So, how do we avoid this mistake? Show your video to someone you trust. Before releasing your video, share it with someone who will give you honest feedback. This could be another videographer, maybe a really good friend, or even an online filmmaking group. And when you share it with them, just don't ask, do you like it? That is so vague. Instead, try and ask a question like this. Does the story make sense? Are there any parts that feel too slow or rushed? Does it sound clear? Does the editing feel smooth? And if you have multiple people that come back with the same issue, maybe it's worth fixing. Another way to avoid this mistake is be open to suggestions, but stay true to your vision. This is very important. It's important to be open-minded when receiving feedback, but that always doesn't mean that you have to change everything. Some feedback will be helpful, and some might not fit your vision. You have to learn how to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Another way to avoid this is keep learning and improving. The best filmmakers are always learning, including myself. You know, watch other videographers work and study what makes their videos effective. You can take a course, you can watch YouTube tutorials, and you can also practice new techniques. See, every video you make should be better than your last. Growth really happens when we learn from our mistakes and apply feedback to our future projects. As promised, here's my bonus tip for you, and I think this might be the biggest one of them all. Don't forget to have fun. Honestly, filmmaking is hard work, but it should also be fun. Sometimes we get so caught up in making everything perfect that we forget to enjoy the process. If you're constantly stressed and overwhelmed or you're frustrated, maybe you should take a step back and remember why you started. Some of the best learning comes from experimenting and just making mistakes. But you don't want to forget to have fun in all of that. All right? The more you film, the better you'll get. So I encourage you to keep going. So there you have it. Those are the 5 big mistakes that I believe that every beginner filmmaker should avoid. If you've made any of these mistakes before, don't worry. We've all been there. The important thing is to learn and to keep improving. All right? Let me know in the comments, what's the biggest filmmaking mistake that you've made? And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for more filmmaking tips. All right? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.